Okay.
Happy day, ladies. Notice I didn't say which day because it's whatever day it is. That's my favorite thing. Welcome to the Leadership from the Heart series. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, good morning. Well, it's not morning. Good day.
It's
Good
3 o'clock.
afternoon. Whatever time it is as well, I guess, right?
Happy whatever day it is. Happy whatever time it is.
We're all here. It's a good day. The sun is shining. Well, in Austin it is anyway. The sun is shining and we're good.
Yep. It's all good. Well, I'm super excited for our guest today.
Yeah, so I am too. Cindy Lowe is a friend of mine, and also she's a founder and CEO of Red Velvet Events here in Austin. But she and her team are amazing, and they do amazing events all over the country, the world. When it's not shelter in place, I never know where Cindy is. It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Where's Cindy, right? And our kids, and they're always doing these fabulous events. And so what's been really interesting is, and one of the real reasons we wanted Cindy on here is hospitality is your world, right? And service, and with everything going on in the world right now, that has been impacted greatly. And we've seen a lot of people kind of put their head in the sand and not sure what to do and freeze. And you've taken this to a whole new level. So I love what you're doing, and I want you to share that. But I also want to hear your story, and you share, because you've created something pretty spectacular that you've built over the years. You have a book, and I mean, you have, Jackie, and you have all these things we want you to share about. But tell us your background, kind of how you got started, what your team looks like, your focus, and then we'll just move into current day.
Thank you, Elizabeth and Renee, for inviting me. And so hi to all your fans and followers. It's kind of neat to actually change platforms in the sense of talking to a different audience. So
yeah.
Quick background on us. We just celebrated our 17th birthday last year. Actually, I mean, we're about halfway, so 17 and a half years into the business. As many people know, because we're the shelter in places across the world, basically our industry has kind of turned upside down in the last few weeks. Thanks to the travel bans, and then unfortunately the hotels closing, and so that has allowed us to kind of pivot. But how I first got started in this business is interesting, because it ties back. I started my business right after 9/11. So I always tell people good stuff can come out of crisis mode, because you have to get very creative and in problem solving. And prior to starting Red Velvet Events, I was actually in technology. So I was not doing events there. I was a project manager, coding, working with business people, so very different world. And after 9/11 happened there, I realized, and I was in New Jersey, New York at the time too. So, but I lived in Austin, so I was flying back and forth. I realized that I wanted a slight change in pace, because also business has, just like this, contracted, slowed down, and it gave me a little bit of a chance to rethink of what I wanted to do. And so I pivoted into this side of the world, and I'm so grateful for it. Honestly, I went to business school because business school tells you to, work your way up the ladder, become a partner at one of the consulting firms, or become one of the investment bankers and everything. I never thought in a million years I would own an events company, let alone what we do. Like, corporations pay us to help them manage their big events, whether it be trade show, activations, incentive trips. And then fast forward to now, all of a sudden everything kind of stopped. So what we've done, we're actually launching a new part of our website tomorrow to kind of really push through some new services, because we have to stay alive. So I'm trying to keep all 25 of our employees together. It's going to be tricky because we didn't actually get our PPP loan the first round. I think today, knock on wood, I haven't been able to, because I've been jumping from meetings to meetings. I think today we got it for the second round, but I haven't gotten my promissory note, so I don't want to speak too far in advance, but that will help. But we are pivoting, and I know, yeah, fingers crossed. And the team is just working so hard, because I told them, I go, you're exhausted because we're basically trying to start a new company in 14 days, guys. and we're going to lean into this until live events come back.
That's interesting for you to say that, because I didn't even think about that. It's like, okay, 14 days. I mean, it's what you guys have been doing. It seems like I've been watching and I'm seeing what you're doing. And it just, when you say 14 days, I'm like, wow, that's 2 weeks. I mean, you went into action quickly.
Well, keep in mind, we've been in shelter in place for 7 weeks. We've been counting every week, every Monday when we have our team meeting, we're like, it's week number 7. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's week 7. We did get heavily affected by South by Southwest canceling, but the silver lining is because of the way it was canceled, we had already been planning so much of it that a lot of the companies that pulled out, they owed us still fees because it got canceled so last minute. Gotcha. So it took, even though it was canceled, literally a week before it started, it took us a while to close out all those events because we had so many partners that were involved. So that took us the first 2 weeks. So anyone that wasn't part of South by, they were actually starting to work on what we called internal projects. And then we were like, okay, I'm sure we're going to still get, the events that we have in the fall, and we still had some events in the summer. But then when those started to fall through, we realized, okay, we've got to get smarter about what we're going to sell, because if we're going to keep the team together, we need to be bringing in revenue. I mean, it's just like you guys. It's like, if you don't have any houses to market, how else are you going to close the deal? So I told the team, I go, as soon as I saw the sales funnel kind of dry up, I said, we gotta refocus and push into that and figure out what are people willing to buy, because I recognize that this is a time where some companies aren't buying, but I was like, I would like to challenge it, because not all companies are hurting from this crisis moment. For example, we do have some alcohol partners that are clients. They are thriving. We also have, obviously, people in the medical field are thriving. So pharmaceuticals is doing well. So even though they may not be able to physically meet in person because of the shelter in place, they're still thriving as a company. So leaning into that.
Well, Elizabeth and I, and two of our very dear friends, Cheryl Hauk and Jill Liebernight, we've also been the facilitators of planning an event and a conference through our Icon program that we have in our real estate brokerage. We've had a lot of thought about, what does the event space, what does the conference space, what does that look like now, right? Well, we're all being agile while we face business adversity. I can't imagine, Cindy, you have a tremendously successful business and you wake up on March 12th or whatever day that was, 150 years, it just feels like a decade ago, and you say, oh my goodness, everything stopped.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. Part 1 is, how do you keep the positive mindset to navigate through as a leader? And where do you see the event space going?
Yeah. So the first question is, I think sometimes my team thinks I'm a little crazy. Because I probably was more optimistic and bullish at the very beginning. And I said, look, I get it. It sucks that, I mean, we had our I would call grief period, when South by canceled, but I was quick to bounce back, because I said, guys, we have to make sure and protect all of our fall and summer programs. It wasn't honestly until the summer program started to cancel through that I realized, oh my gosh, we are in for a much wilder ride than 9/11, 2008, and even 2011, because those were all periods where we had a loss in our hospitality business. Like it definitely dropped a significant amount. And those were the financial crisis. Obviously, 9/11 was because of 9/11, financial crisis. And then in Asia, they also had like this bird flu and SARS and all that stuff. So it's like, there were different things that happened in other parts of the world that did affect our industry as a whole of gathering together. But for the first time, this one, at least in my lifetime, and I'm hoping it's the last one, is that this pandemic has literally affected everyone. It's not just us. It's not just Europe. It's everywhere. So keeping positive is so important. And I am so grateful that our team, we have a strong company culture. So we do silly things throughout the week to try to keep the motivation up. I try to reach out to the team via Slack. That's our internal channel of communication. Some people use Microsoft Teams and maybe Google Hangout, and we use Slack, S-L-A-C-K. The other is, I'm trying to just accept the fact that it is what it is. And so guess what? If we aren't agile and if we don't lean into what it is, you're literally going to be griefing in the corner while everyone's passing you by. And I've always been a pretty competitive type. So I was like, guys, if we want to stay together, we have to get moving now fast. And that's why, to Elizabeth's point, is that I realized a couple of weeks ago when our sales funnel all of a sudden just got quiet, we needed to take action fast. Even though we had started talking about, oh, let's do this when this happens, but we weren't really doing much of it. And I said, guys, talk is a lot, but action is a much bigger thing. So we need to kind of jump on it and get on top of that. Now, the future. I've been writing a lot of blog posts about this because I didn't feel like a lot of people were talking about it enough. I felt like a lot more people were talking about virtual and just, what could happen. But instead I was like, we need to go ahead and lean in and assume we can meet again in the summer. Maybe it's smaller events first, like what we call regional events. So picture maybe y'all's board meeting. It has no more than 50 people. What does that look like? Does that mean we have temperature checks when you come in? Does it mean that we sit, further apart? So normally we put 10 people to a top table. Does it mean we only put 5 now? Just thinking through all the things to make sure people feel safe, because that's going to be the number one thing. Kind of like how when mass shootings were happening, we all went through a course on how to seek, hide, and notify the police if a mass shooting happened at an event. I feel like this is another crisis management that we just have to, manage until we have a vaccine. And so I'm telling the team, you got to think about, again, anticipating what other events do we have coming up that we know are going to be canceled? How can we proactively think about it and actually approach our clients or prospects and let them know this is what we think you could do virtually, hybrid, maybe creatively, to still bring your community together without going quiet, because I think that's the worst thing you could do. So for you guys, is your Icon event in the spring or is it in the fall?
It was June.
Oh,
our company-wide shareholders event was supposed to be happening this past week, which was 5,000-6,000 people. So that's going virtual. But then our Icon event was supposed to be in Nashville in June. So we've tabled it, right? We didn't we've canceled in a way, but we've postponed it because it will happen. It's still the unknown.
Yep. And that's the biggest trouble, is that we actually have quite a few clients that want to do it in the fall. But the challenge is, if media continues the way they're promoting it, no client, no publicly traded company is going to want to be on the front page paper saying that they were being reckless, which they're not, because trust me, we're going through so many protocols of what will it look like and what does it mean, and realistically, numbers are going to drop down anyways, because some companies aren't even letting their employees fly. So that's why I'm saying focus on the regional meetings, because unless you're driving to Nashville, some of them won't even let their employees cross state lines, even if they do drive. So it's like, we're just trying to be very smart about it and trying to educate the clients on what's happening and what the pulse is out there. I do think hybrid events will become the norm. And one positive thing that COVID did is it allowed a lot of people to speed up the adoption of this technology, because this was not 7 weeks ago, Zoom was not my first time to be on Zoom. But let me tell you, now having it 8 times a day, that's becomes very normal. Whereas before, if I had suggested that, most clients would have been like, no, just call me or just email me. Don't even. And now, because they miss the interaction, it's actually kind of been easier to kind of talk to some clients via video instead of just on the phone or on email. So that's the one positive upside of all this.
So Elizabeth, Cindy is pointing out in her industry, in the event space, exactly what you and I have discussed. And that is, as real estate agents, we too have been very keen to pay attention to our customers are actually now, out of necessity, adopting these technologies and video conferencing.
Yeah.
We can now create additional efficiencies on our service level for them.
Exactly.
You're experiencing the same thing.
So for me, so we call them site visits, like how you would call visiting a home, and giving them a tour. We said, look, we know you can't fly down. We can actually, the hotel is still technically open. So we're going to FaceTime you and we're going to show you what it is. And we're going to talk through some things. I know it seems you can't see the level of detail maybe of the carpet or whatnot, but at least this allows you to experience what we're seeing, so that you're not just seeing a static image on a PowerPoint deck. And that helps. And I will say one other thing too, for you guys, because of this level of adoption that had to happen so fast overnight to everyone, is that you can probably reach a much wider audience, because all of a sudden people have realized that, oh, wow, there's all these tools that connect me to people, and I can feel like I know what's going on. And I cannot tell you how many people were not on Instagram or Facebook or on LinkedIn prior to this. And because of the shelter in place, they've joined and they're now actually kind of active and checking. And so I'm trying to spin, again, the positive to our team is that these are ways for us to actually broaden our sales initiatives, and it's all about sales on our side because we've always been very fortunate to be word of mouth referrals. And I said, our number one job during this crisis moment is to make sure that no one forgets our name, because I know it's very easy when we have no events. And so we got to come up with something clever, creative, and also intentional with some meaning to helping our community, our friends, and our clients. And that's actually why we leaned it, because before this, we never did any virtual events. It was always in person.
Right.
And now, we're doing about one every couple weeks. So we've learned a lot. I'm going to tell you right now that not all platforms are the same.
Yeah.
And
well, it's interesting that you're saying all this, because before I was in real estate, I don't know if either one of you know this, but my background was all events.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got into real estate because my CPA said I had to, and I was like, no, I'm working on the Greece Olympics. I'm actually going on a site visit to Greece. I think I'd rather do that. So, but I'm sitting here thinking about all that went into a site visit or an organizational meeting or an event to the caliber that you're doing, which are, you're doing huge things like South by. You work with huge corporations. These aren't little bitty, mom and pop kind of 10 people events you're talking about, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, what you're just saying is, okay, we have to pivot. We have to go virtual. There's so much work and effort that goes behind the scenes in an event, any kind of event, and you're making it still look flawless. And I love, I've always admired your leadership, right? But I've really watched, and this is what this all kind of happened from, is we're just watching how people are emerging in different ways as leaders. Like, you're a leader, but you're emerging as a different leader, right? And what I love that you said is it's about our culture. I want to keep our people together. I'm going to keep my 25 people together. That's the goal. Now, how do we accomplish that? By pivoting and changing what you're doing and changing how you're approaching the business you've always done one way, but incorporating new and changes that are going to help you in the future. It's just going to make you guys that much stronger, that much more successful. And they might not be talking about events right now, but the companies will be talking about Red Velvet events as the go-to, because they're doing things differently and they're doing things better to overcome any adversity, right? So I think it's really cool to see the leadership evolve. I'm not saying just with you, but just watching how leaders still evolve, and that you can always be learning from others by watching.
Oh, totally. And here's the thing is that I've told our team, we're going to make some mistakes. We are learning so fast. Like, wait till you see what we're launching tomorrow. We've never done this ever in our 17-year history. And they're like, but Cindy, we're used to like selling these big activations. And I go, guys, we need to lean into this, because right now there's no one buying any activations. And even the big virtual ones, they're already claimed by the big guys. So we're, because we're a boutique company. So we got to accept that. And so we need to figure out, where is our niche? What are we going to do differently? And so that's why we hustled so hard the last 2 weeks to get this going. And even when I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope this works, because some of them are thinking, what happens if it crashes the website? I go, you know what? That would be a great problem to have. I don't even know if more than 100 people will be interested in this or not. So
can we have any hints, Cindy?
No, all I can tell you is that we are definitely going to launch tomorrow the first phase. We have decided we're going to, because it was an aggressive goal, we're going to probably add stuff to it every week instead of trying to push everything out tomorrow. But I promise you, there's something there for everyone, because we were thinking about, okay, our friends that have lost their jobs, our friends that are actively looking for jobs, maybe friends that haven't had time to actually clean up all their marketing and sales materials. And that is where we're very strong at. So we're going to try to help them with those efforts. And then, of course, the part that, so our tagline right now is out, plan, out, play, out, party. And there's a playful side of us that I was like, I want to make sure that we keep that in mind. And so we are, again, launching something that I hope people will buy, because it was just like, you know what? We have to have something momentous to kind of mark that we survived this pandemic. And have something a little bit for everyone, both in our industry and those outside of it. And so I'm hoping it'll work. We have never, again, gotten to this point where we're selling something to just anyone, but it's to a point where I was like, I want to keep our team together. We've worked so hard to recruit them and train them, and I know events are going to come back. It's just going to take longer than we'd like, because it was the first to go, and I think it's going to be the last one to come back.
So are you seeing a lot of your customer base in general in the event space saying we're waiting and seeing?
There are quite a few, and some went ahead because it's such the way the cash works. Some of them already, as soon as March 16th happened, they let all of them go. So a lot of them went ahead and furloughed and said, when things start to come back up, we'll reach back out to you. So we decided that's not how we're going to do it. And so I'm dipping into my savings, and then I'm trying to, again, sell anything tomorrow. So hopefully you'll buy one. And,
oh my goodness, I can't wait.
And then we're just trying to tell people we are still open for business, and we are learning. I realize that we're not experts yet at virtual events, but believe it or not, after doing so many of them right now, I feel like we're learning faster than anyone, just because we're in the environment every day. And every time we're doing one, we're in a different platform too. It's not like Zoom every time. And so even today, when I asked you what was StreamYard, I'm going to add it to my matrix and talk to the team about it, because that's new to me. We hadn't done that. So I just feel like we just need to lean into this, and we need to keep going. And I told the team, I go, tomorrow, if there's any day where I ask you, please share what we do with your network, whether it be on Facebook or on LinkedIn, on Instagram, tomorrow's the day, because we need them to see our message and hopefully feel sad for us. And we're calling it our margarita to go. I think Elizabeth knows what that, like how some of the businesses have pivoted because they're doing curbside. And so we're like, hey, this is our version, and hopefully you'll see that we're trying to keep the team together and get through this, because I suspect live events, regional events won't even come back until fall. That's what my suspicion is.
Well, and yeah, Cindy's right. Texas loves their margarita.
Yes.
Hey, here's a fun thing about Cindy that you got to understand in her team. So when she says they want to have the fun element, they seriously, I haven't been to many of your events, but I got to go to the grand opening for your new building.
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago? A year?
Yeah, it was actually. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing. She's got a jackalope as their mascot. And this is not like just a jackalope. This is, how big is the jackalope?
18 feet and 2 inches. It's actually the largest jackalope we think of in the world. Actually, we've already tried to claim that, but we haven't had the Guinness Books of World Record come out. But we've already said we believe it's the largest jackalope in the world.
It's the biggest in Texas by far, but it's so fun because every time I'm driving down Lamar and I see it, I'm like, oh, hello. It's just fun. It makes you smile. And then they'd have this they just are always doing fun things. And Renee and I are super sensitive, and culture is a huge deal for us.
Yeah.
And if I ever get out of real estate, I'm gonna apply at Red Velvet Events because I want to go have some fun. But but let's talk a little bit about the community, because our hospitality community is pretty tight knit here, right? I have a ton of friends in the community. I know, even at your grand opening, I was running into all these people that I knew, that just because Austin really isn't that big, if you don't think about it. And a lot of our people are hurting, but you kind of you're already pretty present on Instagram and social media and things like that. But I'm seeing you a lot more on the social media, and I love what you're doing about your Good News Daily.
Oh, thank you. That was a team idea. They were like, we're tired of this sad news. They go, what can we do? And one of them says, you know what? I'm going to share all the good stuff I hear. And what's funny is the day we launched it was one day before John Krasinski did his Some Good News.
Okay.
And we thought that was so ironic that he must have felt it too. Like that there was just so much negative news in the air. And our team was like, please stop. So what we do is we try to promote either a local business we know, or maybe a city where we work in outside of Austin, and we know that they're doing something good, whether it be COVID related or just in general, just a happy news story. We just want to share it. I know the last few days we've been a bit quiet because honestly, it has to do with this pivot. we've been so distracted trying to get this new website up, and it was a little more challenging than we thought. So that's where the excuse has been, but we are definitely going to pick it back up as soon as tomorrow's website goes back up, because so many people are doing some great stuff. Like a Taste of Cocoa here in Austin. She's giving back meals to all the furloughed, workers that were affected in the restaurant hospitality industry. We have people that if you buy one meal, they give one meal. So it's like you're not just buying for your family, but they're also trying to give back to the first responders. There's just so many, and I'm very, very grateful for how our community really did come together. And I do think that is what will keep, again, some more motivated than others because of the positive, effect.
Well, I encourage you to continue that, because I will tell you, I go find your page daily. I'm like, oh, okay, because we want to give back, right? I mean,
yeah,
we are just like Renee. We've been in the house like 46 or so days. I mean, you really, Cindy. I mean, we have not really left, but we want to support our community. We want to support, our local businesses. And there's a lot that I'm learning from just your Good News Daily, hashtag Good News Daily that you're posting. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that today. Right. Yeah. So I hope you keep that up, because
I think we will. Because we used to talk always about our events. And then when we realized, okay, one, what good is that to kind of reminisce all the back stuff? And then two, we were like, people are probably gonna be like, you can't gather like that. No one's spending money like that anymore. So this is again where the team came up with a great idea, and we're doing it. But yeah, no, we'll definitely keep that up for sure. And don't forget, Mother's Day is in a few weeks. And so we've been trying to promote all the different florist people that we normally work with and who's still doing Mother Day arrangements. And they'll drop it off safely to your house and everything.
And also Mother's Day, dads, just remember that kids are not bringing home projects.
Yes. Right. That is a good point. They're not going to, who's going to teach them how to do their homemade cards?
Just saying.
I just want to hide, maybe take a nap in my car for Mother's Day. That's my gift to myself. I cannot escape these little people. They find me. But well, okay. So I know this is kind of old news for many, but talk about your book, because I really always, as busy as you are and as many things as you have going on, and then you have time to write this book. So talk about that a little bit.
So, what's funny is that the book, though, was a project that was a long time that I kept postponing. So I admit, the time when it first really became a true reality, and I was like, oh, let's do it. I think it was 2013 or whatever, but we didn't actually publish it until end of 2017. So it did take a while. But what's interesting is once I found a copywriter that could help me, I just gave myself a deadline. And then the fastest way to get it really done was I had secured a speaking deal that needed the book done. So it basically forced me to keep a deadline, you know what I mean? Because it's very easy to postpone and go, well, I can't do it. And I've got all these other things. But, I need to actually, you just reminded me, I need to update my notes on this, because there's definitely going to be a book too, because this has been such a wild ride.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm always in awe of people that are authors and business owners and launching things. And what's the book called? So people know if they want to.
Behind the Red Velvet Curtain. And the best, I think, not testimonial, but nice kudos I got was that actually the book is applicable. They've now decided to buy it for all their graduating seniors from either college or high school, because what they found about the book was it's about finding your own path. Because I was very just transparent in the fact that, well, one, as you can see, I'm Asian, and because I'm first generation Asian, my parents had some very high expectations of me. I either was a doctor, an accountant, or a lawyer. As you can see, I didn't end up being any of those. And in fact, I wasn't even that coming out of college. I ended up changing my major because I could not stand, for a doctor, I could not stand the sight of blood. Accountant, I worked at one of the big six at the time, and I realized, oh my gosh, I am not fit to work in this kind of office environment. Yeah. And then last but not least, a lawyer, once I realized how many years of schooling you needed, I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. I just want to be done. So I very much so, I mean, I didn't say failure, but my parents were just like, okay, I guess she's going to do her own thing, and we'll just have to trust that she did it. And then when I recruited both of my sisters to come work for me at Red Velvet, oh my gosh, that was like another, are you kidding me? You're going to bring your sisters to this party planning business and bring the whole family down. So there's just so many things about the book that I just revealed of like, you know, there was so much against what could make it succeed, but I think it's because I was so determined to prove that it could be a business that I just kept my head down and you know, really try to pivot every time. And that's why I do tell the team and remind them now, even though this is challenging, I am confident that we're going to come out ahead, and I am confident that we're going to be stronger and better because we're learning new skills that we didn't have to do before because we were given other things before. And this time we're having to learn all these new things to kind of stay in the game.
I think it's very poignant how there's been a common thread with all of the leaders that Elizabeth and I have been so blessed to be able to have conversations with on this series. And that is the common thread of overcoming business adversity at different points in their background. Many of the leaders we've spoken to had been a part of the financial downturn in 2009, 2010. Yeah. And Cindy, you said something that makes so much sense is we may not have all the answers. We may have uncertainty in our business, but we can still stand in confidence.
Yes.
And know that we're coming out on the other side with more strength than we have today.
Totally.
That's a true sign of leadership that you have right there. That's awesome.
Or craziness. That's
you need a little bit of both, Cindy.
That is so true.
I've realized.
Where did the name?
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, where did the name Red Velvet Events, where did that come from?
It's not as exciting of a story. So we did actually have another name, but what we realized was people couldn't pronounce it. And so I needed to quickly change it. So I'll spell it out, the old name, and see if you can pronounce it. So it was Austin, Austin, and then Tations. And it was supposed to be, so how would you pronounce it?
Oh,
it's supposed to be like ostentatious kind of.
Yes. So it was supposed to be like a play on words, both our city and the word ostentatious, which means, kind of extravagant, flamboyant, and people could not pronounce it. And so I was like, we need to change this name right away. And then I go, you know what, in the end, that's kind of better because I'm not then stuck to just Austin because we were going to always do events outside of Austin. And I just thought it was a cute play on words. So so I happened to be eating red velvet cake at a wedding because at that time when I was looking for names, I literally would see something. I would be like phone events, couch events. Like I would look at everything and just add the word events at the end to see how it sounded. And that day I happened to be eating red velvet cake and I go, oh, that's kind of nice. I like that. And the URL was available. The trademark was available. So I took care and bought everything. So I knew I did want a color though, because I knew I was going to be branding it on color since I couldn't brand it on. So previously with Ostentatious, I was branding it on like the city skyline, which I guess in the end, that's good too, because I mean, obviously our skyline changed a lot.
Right.
So, whereas red is red.
That's funny because it's always about perception. I just assumed red carpet, and you have the carpet. I can't even, not the carpet. Or there's always that velvety, and I was like,
the stanchions. Yeah, I know. It's
you always look fabulous in red, so I was like, well, maybe she just likes red. Isn't that funny?
I didn't wear a ton of red before, but believe it or not, any excuse now, I have red purses, red shoes, red dresses, red everything, shawls. I own a lot of red.
Do you put the red velvet ropes up at your events?
We do. They're called stanchions. I mean, we'll use them if it's a red carpet like event, but it's not a standard item in our office. No.
That's so funny. Down at our house. Okay, so this is kind of a loaded question. You can answer it however you want. But, so Renee, our Texas governor, just issued a statement yesterday that businesses can start opening up Friday here with precautions like restaurants and things like that, and malls and movie theaters. I'm just like, okay. I think I'm good here for a while. But Cindy, in the hospitality, that's going to be huge. How do you think how is that being received right now? Because I'm seeing a lot of, even small businesses are like, yay, we can't wait, but wait a minute, hold on, that's sooner than we thought. But
correct.
We're on the street or the buzz that you're hearing.
So I think that's the problem, is that all of them are wanting to, but at the same time, they're like, but wait, we don't have all the test kits.
Right.
So I think if we had more testing done, I think they would be ready.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that we don't. And so they're like, whoa, we got to do all these things. That's not how we normally run a restaurant. And so I don't know if I can prepare to do all that and run a restaurant and be profitable. So curbside is still better for them than to open up the restaurant, because I don't know if you saw some of the guidelines, but if they open up, they do need to stop them and ask, have you been sick in the last 14 days? What's your fever? Like, do you have a fever, and measure? Like, there's all these things that you have to do, and you have to sanitize your hands. So I'm not saying that won't happen when we really do reopen, but I think right now, because we don't feel like there's been enough testing in our city, and that's what's been making people scared of coming out. I am hoping that they really are going to increase our testing capacity, because that's been on the docket for a long time. And because I do know a lot of us want to just get back to our quote unquote, what I call our new normal.
Right.
And we're ready. But if people are going to be scared of that, it's going to be very hard, because let's say you open up a retail store, but no one comes in. So then now you're paying for those employees,
right,
and no one's even shopping,
That's what I was thinking about too, because there were some statements that came out, like some of the local movie theaters.
Yeah.
Right? I was reading some of the responses, because I was just really curious, just watching what people were saying in the reaction yesterday. I think everybody was like, yay, awesome. And then they're like, oh, wait, hold on a minute, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I was reading, and there were a couple not chains, but local chains, right, that are not going to open. They're okay. We appreciate we're able to do that. We're not going to do that because we know we're not ready. So I just wasn't
correct,
sure.
because I think they don't have the employee trained up to it, and that's why they were like, we just got used to this curbside, and then now all of a sudden you're telling us we have to follow all these new protocols. What they're hoping is again, if we can get our city all up to speed on the testing, and then also give them allowance to also get their people trained up without all those restrictions. Because there's a lot in order for them to stay compliant. That's a lot. And
there's still so many unknowns that
you
don't even know how to approach.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's the hard part about all this, is because, I've heard, earlier they said always it was only affecting, the older population. And then now you've heard a lot of people that have died or have been on respirators that are our age. And you're just like, whoa, what's going on? And then I read an article about a kid. So it's just like, okay, maybe this is not as you can't recover as easily if you don't have those ailments. So I think that's what scares people, because after all, without anything to protect you, that's what's going to prevent you from spreading it, and by accident,
Right. Yeah, I don't think anybody's intentions are there, and we want to support everybody. But the Rileys are going to still stay put for a while and still support from a distance as we do. But what can we do? Obviously, I'm excited about the launch and the surprise.
Tomorrow, support us.
Yeah.
What can we do? If you find something that resonates, because we're going to try. I guess, share one is that we are definitely leaning into our consulting, meaning, like I meant, about sales and branding and marketing, and even helping people like that have lost their jobs of how to make themselves rehireable. So reviewing their LinkedIn resume, getting their headshot redone, all those things, because we feel that it's important to, put your best foot forward. There's going to be one thing that we haven't shared publicly with anyone, so we'll see how well it takes off. But I will.
So where does everyone find you for the announcement tomorrow?
So they can definitely start following us on Instagram at Red Velvet Events. That's the easiest way. We will be adding something to our website to basically point them to the new website. That's a subpar, because we're going to a subpage. We're going to keep our main website up with all of our normal information, just because we are actually still planning for some 2021 programs. I know it seems so weird to plan that far out, but that's normal for us. And so we want to make sure people know that that's still in the books. But in the meantime, because April, May, and June all of a sudden have no events for us. We have a few virtual events, but they're nothing near of what our normal capacity is for a normal, a working 3 months. So that's why we're pivoting into these consulting arenas to try to make some money, to kind of, be our margarita to go.
I think it's great. When's your usual or do you have a busy season?
We do. It is always spring and fall. And so spring,
Okay.
it starts, actually now it starts as early as January because a lot of people want to do kickoff meetings. So from January to pretty much May, I would say end of May is so busy. Like that's why the fact that this April and May just got canceled, it was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, whoa, all of a sudden our events just went away off our books. And we were just like, this is unreal. We've never seen this happen. And then the fall. So typically starting right after Labor Day weekend, all the way up until Thanksgiving is super busy because people have conferences, they're wrapping up the year, whatever sales and meeting initiatives. And then we repeat again in in January. So yeah.
Well, I know your schedule, so I'm always crazy busy, and everybody's always commenting about how crazy busy I am. And I'm like, oh, no. I am nothing compared to Cindy Lowe. I mean,
you do a lot. I am always impressed because you do a lot of projects with your kids. That's where I was like, wow. I was like, she is such a better mom than I am. I don't do anything with my kids.
I've got Cindy fooled, obviously. There are times I'm like, hey, send your brilliant daughter over to hang out with my daughter or something. But you're stopped. You're like me. You're stopped. I mean, Are you enjoying it though? I mean, are you embracing I'm embracing the slower pace, even though my DNA is like, come on, going to get all these things accomplished. But I'm
So it's a yes and no. I would say probably during South by because it was spring break. Remember?
Yeah.
I did a little bit. So that week I tried to, but I have to admit, I think once I realized the sales funnel slowed down, I couldn't. And that's what kept me up at night because I'm such a sales driven person. And as soon as I saw that slow down, I was like, oh no, it can't. And mind you, we have a great sales team on our team. It's just that I realized, we really need to fill this coffer with something else because no one is calling us for our normal stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's when I kind of just, pivoted. But I will say that because this would not normally if this was any other normal April or May, you would never catch me playing Animal Crossing or Super Smash Brothers. I was with my kids. And I am, like I said, I'm very competitive in business and let alone competitive in gaming too. And my kids we're like, you need to stop. This is not about who wins, okay? It's about having fun. And I'm like, there's got to be a point. Like, what's the point then, right? Like, it's the win, right?
That's tenacity right there. I am not surprised with the success you've experienced in your business, Cindy. That is tenacity.
So you will see me every day. I at least have to play my 1 hour of Animal Crossing because I got to collect my money. Because I don't know how much you know about Animal Crossing. You're basically an avatar and you're building a house. And you have to pay off the mortgage. And after you pay off the mortgage, then you have to buy more of it to expand the house and to fill it. And so you're doing these things like fishing, catching butterflies, whatever, and farming to basically pay off the house. And so right now, because I got to visit my best friend's house, so I didn't realize she was playing Animal Crossing too until one day I told her, she goes, so what are you doing? And I go, oh, the kids got me onto Animal Crossing. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm playing that too. And so I visited her island, and I kid you not, I went into her house and I had a house envy. And I was like, oh my gosh. I go, how in the world, how much longer have you been playing this than I have? Because your house is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure that's what happens with the kids in Fortnite, just saying.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, her boys and my kids, like even from across states, when we're on calls like this, they're usually playing Fortnite downstairs with each other. So
were they part of the concert this past weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you mean at 1 a.m. or something?
Yeah, it was like 12 million people. I mean, I have to say, because again, I'm not a Fortnite player, but I am in the events business, and I heard so much positive stuff from that concert that I had to look it up to figure out what they did, and I have to give Epic Games an A+ on execution.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing because we actually had, Renee has a relationship with him from eGames we had him on the other day talking about this, and it's fascinating to me.
That's
what
all.
I was going to say is if you look at our previous videos, last week
will.
we interviewed Gabe Koss, who is the head of the esports partnership with the Orlando Magic. My husband and I sponsor the Orlando Magic. And so we had Gabe on, and I felt like I was so naive. Elizabeth, I was lost. Poor Gabe, he's going to call me later and say, what's wrong with you? You don't know anything going on in this whole esports world. There's a whole world happening.
Oh, it's a big one. And before all this COVID stuff, this was one of our big initiatives because it was growing so massive in Vegas. And that's why they were building all these new arenas so that they could play and videotape and live stream it, to the rest. So it was fascinating.
Well, I was with Renee, I had no clue. And I'm seriously in a bubble most days. Animal Crossing, all these things. If I got involved in that, like I would not stop. I'm just like you, Cindy. But the e-games the other day, I told Trip, my oldest, I said, hey, the guy Gabe is coming on, and he's like, oh, cool. And so we're literally having this interview with him, and Trip is upstairs. That kid does not care what I'm doing during the day. But during that interview, he was sitting right next to me. He would not come on. But he was like, Mom, and then he'd whisper something. He was like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it's a huge thing that's their world, right? But
it is.
Fortnite thing the other night, they got to stay up late. Trip had these blinking lights all through his
room. I saw that.
Rave. I'm just like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how they connect now, though. And
it is.
And that's what we all have to continue to pay attention to as we remain agile in our business, right?
I agree.
Thinking about new ways. I can't wait to see what you launch tomorrow, Cindy, with Red Velvet Events. We'll be paying attention on your Instagram.
And any way we can support you, we definitely want to do it. Please keep up the Good News Daily.
Thank you. We will for sure.
Pull us in anytime. We are so excited that you came to visit with us today. And really, I know you're so busy, so this means a lot.
Oh, no. Thank you for inviting me. It's so nice to meet you, Renee. And
Great to meet you, Cindy.
We'll be getting together in person soon, hopefully.
One of these days. Absolutely. All right. We will see you soon.
Have a great day, ladies.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.